Joker, you son of a bitch.
Here to haunt your every dream.
I ain't afraid of no ghost. Leave this place or die.
I will see no ground.
Unfortunately, you're on my list. Nice gun, Leonard.
Right back at you.
We gonna be friends now? Duel with the devil?
You are very funny.
Let's see how far I can push it. Ready to duel with the devil?
Think I haven't planned for this?
Let's see if you bleed. Well, you're a new one.
The name is Supergirl.
Jason Todd, pleased to beat you. I've never met a bigger goody two-shoes.
At your service.
We gonna be friends now? Ever been buried alive?
Spent a year stranded on a desert island.
You think you know suffering? I'll bring your head to Batman.
Only a fool would trust you.
He doesn't even know I'm here. That ring got something special for me?
How about a straitjacket?
I'm not crazy, Hal. I'm enlightened. Leave this place or die.
Who are you to command me?
Someone with nothing to lose.
Oh, it
You
does.
don't know anything about me.
Redemption comes hard for killers like you.
Maybe killing you will change that. Same team, Dinah.
I fight crime, not commit it.
If I killed Superman, you'd thank me. Waiting on your next victim, Ivy?
Looking for a hot date.
You just found him. I'll bring your head to Batman.
Snap a vine, I'll snap your neck.
Come give it a try. The hell you think you're doing?
Whatever I can't control, I must destroy.
Not on my watch. Unfortunately, you're on my list. Doing?
I go where the hunt takes me.
You're going into a wood chipper. Guns, do you?
How about slaps and tickles at 10 paces?
Come give it a try. Ra's al Ghul saved my life.
Ra's al Ghul denied fate.
I don't see the downside.
Dick trusted me, but you never will.
Someone's desperate for approval.
I've got more than enough father figures.
One of his best normal attacks is back, medium, hard. It's the slow attack. It's got great range, and it's very, very fast. You can see it actually hits from the start of the round, and it's super, super quick. And he doesn't get a pop-up, but he can do like a special move, or he can put out his mine, and it'll be behind them, and he can go in. And if you want real damage, you have to commit. So you have to just do the mine, or just go in. So that's the trade-off. It's very, very fast, has a ton of range, but if you want real big, meaty damage, you have to do something unsafe, or just go ahead and use your bar meter. So you have to think about how you use it, but it's a great move to use.
I feel like a lot of people, once they start really getting into Red Hood, they're going to start feeling like his mind probably could use some exploration by a player.
Yeah, yeah. One of his other key normal attacks is his 4-2. It's 4-2-3-1. And the second hit is an overhead, and the last hit is a low. And this has great, great range. You can see it'll hit from even farther back. Now, the downside to this move is it's a high. So if the opponent is ducking or doing like a low poke or a low profile move, it'll whiff. But if you can condition the opponent not to move, like maybe you have the mine out or something like that, you can go for it. So those are kind of like two of his best normal attacks to use. Another thing I'd like to point out is with the dive, that not only does he have like the different versions, like up close, the far one is actually safe. So if the opponent blocks it, he's like slightly disadvantageous and they can't punish him. So it's a great way to get in. Like if you're kind of struggling in zoning and you're having a hard time, you can do it from full screen and he'll be right next to them and he can kind of go in or do like a meter burn back 3 or jump over them and they can't just automatically retaliate. So like Derek was saying, it's a great tool to like close the distance.
Right.
Another thing with his retreating move is you mentioned it's a wake up attack. It's actually his only invincible wake up attack. And it's not.
We're actually going to get more on wake up attacks later, but yeah,
yes,
continue.
It's not fully invincible, but it does have some invincibility before he actually leaves the area. So the opponent's going to have to go out of their way to beat it. Like they're going to have to stop their pressure and think of like long range, far reaching moves that'll beat it. So it's a pretty good wake up attack. But the downside is he doesn't get any damage unless he meter burns it. So it's like it's evasive and it's high mobility, but it's not great reward for him.
Right.
So I also wanted to talk about his mine. One of the cool things about it is his main combo starter, but it's also like a setup tool. So, and it also hits low. The opponent has to be crouching. So there's simple setups. Like a simple go-to setup would be you end your combo in this string, and then this is very, very hard to block because he said the second hit's an overhead, and this is a low. So you can go for this, and the opponent, you change your timing, the opponent has a very, very short amount of time to block it. And that'll knock them down. And then you can throw out another mine and start looping it. So there's a lot of creative things you can do in the corner, or you can do like mid-screen. You can also kind of use it as a shield. You can place it in front of you, and then do some quick projectiles. So like maybe you think Bane's going to charge at you, you can have it down there, or you think maybe they're going to dash in, you can put it in mid-range. So it's not just a combo starter, it is that, and that's one of his best combo starters, but it's also kind of a thinking player's move.
A thinking player's
move,
I like that.
which is, that's totally, I'm all into setups and traps, you know.
Right, sure you are. You've always been a setup player.
Oh, yeah.
So his character power, I'd like to go in a little bit more about that too. Like, the cool thing is...
I did that already.
Yes, but when you're blocking it, you have to keep in mind that the different enders have different recovery. Like, the low option is good, but it's actually punishable. So if Red Hood guesses wrong and you actually block low, he's going to get punished for it. The overhead is a little bit safer. Some characters are going to be able to punish it, but when you block it, you're left far away. So...
Do you want me to do it for you, Steve?
No, I'm good. So you can see they're pushed back far, so unless they have a really good long-range move, he's going to be safer.
Sure.
So he has two options that are overhead low, and the reward's kind of decent, and they're somewhat punishable, or you can go for the throw. The throw is a true throw. Like, it'll actually hit you if you're stand blocking. The downside is it's a high, so the opponent can duck. But then the thing is, if they're ducking, that opens up the overhead.
Right. Sure.
And like you pointed out, if you meter burn it, they're still standing, and he is at a ton of advantage. Mm-hmm. He gets a free mix-up.
Yeah.
You are not moving. You're either blocking or you're dying.
Right.
So he's using a bar meter, and it's a high, but if it connects, it's party time for Red Hood.
Sure.
And then the big ender, not only does it look awesome, it actually does a lot of chip damage. It's safe. So that's kind of the option where if you're going for his pressure and they're blocking, and you're like, I don't want to go overhead low or throw. I don't want to mix them up. I just want to play it safe. I just want to get out, get the chip. The meter burn is your answer. You're going to get a decent amount of chip, you're going to be pushed back, you're totally safe.
Cool.
And then a final thing that's really cool is from the stance, he can exit it or he can actually shoot out of it. And this is really good. So like up close, you can kind of go into it and immediately just kind of get out. So maybe you go in, you don't want to play a guessing game at all, you just want to go back, you can do that. It's also just a great projectile. It's actually really fast, has good recovery, it does a decent amount of damage, so you can just throw the stars, do a couple of anti-air stars, and this is actually just good.
It's just good.
Yeah, it's
Great
just a good
description.
review, and it looks awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very cool cancel. And what I also like, Matt and Ken sent me some really cool combos with Red Hood, which I couldn't do.
Yes.
Is that, like, even mid-combo, you can go into the stance, cancel out of the stance, go back into the stance, and go into the full
there's
string.
a
It's
lot
so
of creativity. Like, his normal attacks are not the most spectacular. They're pretty utilitarian. They kind of get the job, like a lot of just punches and kicks. They get the job done. It's the character power is where he really shines. So I think he's going to appeal to players that they like their traditional zoning, kind of the standard, throw a fireball, you make the opponent jump, you want to anti-air them. But then if you have the creative side, the mind and the character power are going to be really cool. And I think that's what's going to really make him a special character.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
All right, moving right along. What else we got?
Well, we're the movies he's in, and you watch read all the comic books, so you're able to take things you see. Like, there's some moves in there you're like maybe you saw in one of the comics, and
yeah, when you were watching that or reading that, you get the mental note like, ooh, that would make a good this, that would make a good that. Oh, we should reference that.
I figured I was going to try and do my corner combo that I can't get ever.
Okay.
Okay, you know what? Let's get to
moving
it.
on.
All right, go
moving
right
on.
here we go. All right, moving right along. So look at this amazing gear for Red Hood.
Pretty cool.
He's pretty awesome. Now, what we've added are 2 new abilities for him. Like we had said before, he has a parry. So what we've added is Gutted, which is a combo string or a combo attack that you can end at the end. You're 2 and 1 into any.
It's like a combo ender.
Right. So this is Gutted. Awesome. 6 hits. You can add it to any combo that you want, right? To do additional damage. Restand them. And then you can meter burn it, which has been like people's favorite move so far. Bam! That's classy.
Now talk about that move real quick, Evan, because like on the outset, if you were to think about that move, you're like, is that going to work? Is that weird? Did you have that issue?
At first I thought, it's a little too gimmicky, it's a little too comical, but, seeing how the game is pretty serious, you kind of need some of that comedy.
Well, and also I feel that, like, just like I was talking about a moment ago, like sort of the nonchalance and sort of the arrogance of him, that just matches his personality to a T, and it just works with how he plays. That's really cool.
Absolutely. And then, like we were talking about before, with his lethal lunge, what we've added is a move that augments the second meter burn, where it actually pops up the opponent. Now, when doing that, that allows you to launch off of that. And then, bam, even more fun stuff you can do off of it. So he's got different abilities to pop up the opponent. His normal fight style doesn't have a lot of overheads or ways to extend your combos, like with pop-ups and whatnot.
Right.
But a lot of his special moves, when augmented, do, or meter burned.
Okay.
So that's basically the 2 moves that we've added on to this version.
And we gave him what we actually the next one. Let's take a look at that real quick.
Sorry, I'm just having fun with it now.
That's one of my favorite back threes to hit because it seems like it's super hard to do, but it always lands. It
And
fits
it's got
really well.
such good distance
Yeah.
too. It's really good. All right, so
Okay, yes, 900 damage against a
That's a
level
level
1
1.
Joker.
People.
So we can't show these moves if it's in competitive mode, so we have to do this, yeah.
So here we are with this version of Red Hood. I absolutely love his helmet. I love the red bat symbol on his chest. He looks amazing. What we've added into this loadout is actually a 2-slot special move. He normally has the ground mines, right? This move, which is more of a grenade toss, actually replaces the ground mines. But what's awesome about it is it gives you a free pop-up, so you don't need to meter burn like you were before. Of course, it has the 3 different distances. You can do far, medium, close, far, medium, close. And like I said, it gives you that free pop-up if I can do anything off of it, right? Oh, I can't because I'm horrible. Here we go. I'm just gonna run away from the opponent.
It has not been your day with the combos today.
It's all right. Bam.
There we go.
Bam.
So just another way of mixing it up with the mines.
Right, and so I mean, if that person's gonna sit and try and block low from this grenade, you actually can then just go into the air and go into overhead attacks. So you're kind of just locking them in place with these, and you're getting really good spacing.
That's an awesome helmet, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So,
first thing you'll notice, he has a red helmet.
Yes.
All right. So we're just gonna, for the most part, go over his special moves. And you know how he is different than what you would normally expect.
Real quick, Evan, when you designed this character, what was sort of your idea? You wanted him to be sort of he controls air a lot.
Yeah, he controls space. He's very mobile. He can evade. He can get in there, and he also has tools for setups.
Right. Which actually, Steve, when he comes in, wants to really discuss the setup potential of Red Hood. So
everyone's gonna love that one.
All right, so Red Hood, for the most part. Projectile is this Gotham Star, which is this quick high attack, obviously full screen projectile, which you can meter burn, and it'll actually do a mixture of mids and highs. It's a good way to keep your opponents away, but for the most part, you can jump over them, you see it coming, right? He also has an upward one, so it's more of an anti-air.
So it's kind of interesting, Evan, what we've done here. Like what you've done here is he doesn't use, he has guns, but his main kind of projectile is not that.
No.
Right. It's these Gotham Stars. And what you can also do is you can connect the Gotham Stars off of wall bounces or whatnot to do some beefy damage. Now you'll notice this is a level 20 Red Hood versus a level 1 Joker, alright?
So
you're not like, oh my gosh, look at the damage!
Right.
That's not necessarily it. But you can definitely keep the opponent in the air with the upward stars, which will give you time to advance in on your opponent too. He wouldn't be Red Hood without using guns. So he's got this air gun move that he can use, which keeps you up in the air, and it's an overhead and mid. So it's really, really good.
And you kind of look at that, Evan, as a sort of almost like an anti-zoning tool too.
Yes.
You can jump. Yeah.
And also, if you have an opponent that's kind of sitting there and zoning at you, you can just jump in the air with Red Hood, do this quick attack, and then the projectile will pass, and you'll be able to advance.
Right.
He has these really cool diving moves, which he'll dive away and dive towards the opponent. Now, if you meter burn the dive away, it'll do 6 additional shots. So it's kind of like if you want to try and play that distance game with Red Hood, you can by getting away and then going back into the stars.
Right. Now, people in the chat still keep saying that damage. Again.
And once again, level 20 Red Hood versus level 1 Joker, which I think makes it canon as well, but we're not in the lore minute yet.
No, we're not in the lore minute. We got to hold off on that. Now, I will say, people are asking on chat also, we did say on Twitter, that after this run through, when Steve comes in, we will actually be giving you the release date of Red Hood.
Oh, never mind. I almost said it. Right there. I almost did it. I'm the worst. Whew.
I would say about 3 or 4 more minutes.
Okay.
So get your egg timers started.
Egg timers?
No one has egg. My mom used to use an egg timer. So
I have one at my desk.
Back to Red Hood.
All right, back to Red Hood. So he also has this advancing one. So if you do want to try and get in on your opponent, you want to use his advancing dive or lethal lunge. Now, what's unique about the lethal lunge is it has 2 different meter burns. So you can do a meter burn in the beginning if you're at a distance from your opponent, right? So you see how he does these quick 2 shots stumbling the opponent, but still closing in that space. Now, if I do the lethal lunge and I hit the opponent in meter burn, he'll do a series of different attacks.
Right.
So it's very rare that we have a special move that has 2 different meter burn properties based on the distance from your opponent.
Right. Very interesting.
And then
I think Steve will talk about it too, but I believe his wake up is actually his back dive.
Oh.
So for a character, his wake up is the way is getting away.
Yeah, he's just getting away. And then he also has an air grab as well. Nice, unblockable, so if your opponent's jumping around being all crazy like I usually do,
right,
you can just yank him on out of the air, and he may have an ability that augments that. Oh,
we'll talk later.
We'll talk later about that.
You know what I think it's time for?
We'll
come. You got one more thing to show? Oh, we do.
We have like 2 more things.
2 more things. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so one of the things we still have to show is this ground mine. Right? Now it's just a normal ground mine. It sits on the ground, it's active for X ticks, and then it'll explode. You can do it at different distances. You can do a far, you can do a mid, and of course you can do a close one, depending on what kind of setups you want to do. What's great about the ground mine is when you meter burn it, it goes into a free pop-up city, right? Ooh, almost did too much there. Not ready for it. And it's a really great way to start all of his combos, and it gives you that free pop-up for just 1 bar of meter.
Right.
You get that away 3 instantly off of it. And he also has a parry. Look at that. And you can meter burn the parry to do addition. Oh, I messed it up. I can. Oh. And then you can meter burn the parry to do additional damage, pushing him further. And then, of course, if you want to just do the stars, live in the star life with Gotham Stars, you can. And he has a low version. Look at that.
And I love parries. And here's the thing I like about the parry, too. So let's say you just did a combo to me.
Yes.
Right? Let's say you tried to do a combo to me.
Right.
There we go.
What? I tried.
Did your combo that you showed earlier.
My fancy combo?
Yeah, but you have how many times chat will it take him? How many times will it take him?
I'm going 3 tries.
3 tries. Okay, Evan? 3. I'm
3.
going to say it's going to take you 2.
2. What?
Yep.
All right. Here we go. Oh!
That's a 1.
All right. Oh,
that's a 2.
All right. Oh, there was 3.
That's
I
a
messed
3.
it up. The stream nerves, they're real.
But yeah, so I want people to see that sometimes it's not easy for everybody. Why don't you just do the easy one?
Which one's the easy one?
Just 1, 2, 2 at the end.
1, 2, 2.
Yeah, I think so. Or, maybe I'm wrong.
Okay.
1,
all
1, 2. There we go.
That?
Yeah, finish
No,
with that.
I don't want
well, you're never getting it. So
don't say that. I might get it.
But also, when Steve comes in, we talk more about some mind setups that he has and some cool stuff. So Derek actually never got the combo.
Well, we didn't give me 15 tries like we normally give you.
Matt, do I do it less than 15 tries every time? Usually. Has this taken longer than all the ones that I ever tried?
No.
Probably.
What? Why do you have... That's not fair.
So what I'm trying to say is at the end of a combo, you can also just be a jerk and just spin your guns like you just showed off, right?
Yeah. Well.
So that's really cool. That's really all I was getting into.
Oh.
All right, we're going to stop now, Derek.
Okay.
Because that's just looking bad.
Is it?
Yeah, it's starting to look bad for the stream now.
Ah!
All right,
okay. All right. So, because I'm horrible, thank you for pointing that out. Go ahead and write that down.
Well, it's you always pointed out on me, so I think it's only fair if it comes back to you.
I just did it!
Oh.
Did everybody see it?
No. Sure
All right.
did. Sure
Okay, so moving right along, his character power. Should we go over that?
Let's go over that.
Right? His character power is the stance called Going Ballistic. Now, there's a series of strings that you can do from this stance. And you can choose which ender you want to do after you do the string. So, you go into the stance, and you can choose to end the string with a low attack, or you can choose to end the string with an overhead.
So this is more of that sort of gun fu we've been talking about earlier, Evan, but he actually has electrified guns now.
Yeah.
Right. And then he also has where you can switch position.
Which is a throw.
You can meter burn it to keep your opponent standing.
It also gives you have a ton of advantage after that as well. So you can go right back into doing your fun
Combo
Red
City.
Hood. Yep.
And then my favorite, which is the series of additional attacks into the Bullet Storm or Bullet Barrage.
Which is how the combo you were doing earlier was supposed to end.